Hello YouTube! Today we are back with the XC90 V8. Getting to the heart of the problem, other than the transmission, is this rear wheel stability. So it depends on where you look, but Volvo calls this a tie rod when you're in Vita. And then it also refers to it when you're reading through that, not a tie rod, but it calls it a track rod. So this sets the toe on the rear wheels and obviously is providing some stability because ours wobbles all over the place over 25 miles an hour. So yeah, I got all the parts out of FCP Europe. I got to do both sides. I went ahead and got screws, bushings, all of it, just assuming it's while you're there, get this thing together. So yeah. So just in case everybody forgot out there what we're dealing with, here is the on-car arm. That's doing nothing because, as you can see, it snapped right across, right where the bolt's at. Right across there, completely snapped. It did hit something. It's bent inward. I didn't realize that. I thought this was a cut. See that? Sorry, you weren't looking where, I'm not looking where you're looking. So this is bent inward. That's smooth. So something hit this. Hopefully this mounting surface is not bent. We shall find out here quickly. I bet it is. I bet it's moved. Oh, I can feel it. Nope, there's a ripple in that side too, so it's got a shape to it. All right, so we're gonna find out when this comes off. Obviously there's a bushing. I gotta probably go to AutoZone and get a bushing press to get that out of there. But it did hit something because that is completely curved. That's the best news I've seen yet. I was trying to figure out how did it get this far apart. How is that possible? So this just looks like it hit something and bent it in. So yeah, we're gonna have some issues. We'll start working on this. A little bit of corrosion under here, but I mean, it's a Colorado car its entire life, so no big deal. I got two theories though. Like now I'm thinking it hit something, backed up and hit something right there, although it didn't hit any surface on this. I was thinking, what could possibly have caused that thing to snap? And I was thinking originally it was, could it be the transmission slapped so hard that it snapped this? But seeing this bend makes that seem a little improbable. And then could the bushings on the entire left wheel suspension, all the other bushings, have worn out so badly that this thing was put under massive tension? But with this bend, that seems a little impossible. It appears that they hit something and bent it. So I don't know how they did it, but that's what I'm looking at. Let's get started. So just being a complete amateur hack, I do not have this Volvo special tool. There's a truss tool, I don't know how else to describe it, that goes underneath the car. You get the car up in the air and you mount it to the subframe, and it is a truss, so it's got, you know, it pushes up on both sides of the suspension, and you load it to a certain stress setting that, from my reading on Vita, is supposed to simulate the position of the suspension when the car has 3 people and a full tank of gas. So it's sitting here with a half tank of gas and no people at the moment, and this is our ride height. So what I'm going to do, obviously I don't have that tool. That thing looks a little ridiculous for me to own as a garage hack. What I'm going to do is just take the height reading off of that tire on what that space is. I'll probably do left and right. And then we'll lift it in the air, take the tires off, obviously. We'll get the track bars off. When we go to tighten and torque the bushings, the new bushings on the new track bars, I need to remount a wheel and just with the floor jack, get the wheel in an appropriate approximate position of where it would be on its ride height before I torque down the bushings, the bolts going through the bushings. That way we're not stressing the bushings because it's gonna be up in the air and the suspension is gonna sag and hang down. And if I torque them like that, then we're gonna stress and rip the bushings when it goes back to its normal ride position. It's gonna be too much flex. So I'm gonna do it that way and we'll see where that gets us. All right, YouTube, so I measured both the left and the rear wheel ride heights, and they're both right about 3.5 inches. Another test you can do is, yeah, it's bigger than my hand. So it's about, if I go my knuckles on the center line, it's just a little bit bigger than my knuckles. So maybe if I set it at knuckles, that'll simulate close to what that truss system would be loaded with 3 people and a tank of gas.
Hey, YouTube, I'm out here hiding in the garage. Mama seat is really suspicious. Jump down there. I gotta work on this car, but I need money from the funds.
Hey, Jamie? Jamie, are you out here?
Hey, get down there and hit follow. We gotta monetize this. this.
But first, I just remembered I needed to get rid of a bunch of old fluids, antifreeze, coolant, brake fluid, transmission fluid, jugs full. This thing was so heavy I had to get Hot Mamacita to help me lift it into the back of the Previa, because Boulder County has hazardous materials management facility where you get to drop off all this stuff, and it's free, open Tuesday through Saturday. All right, that was fun and easy. Get that stuff. Oh, let's get NPR off so I don't get in trouble. There we go. So I'm leaving the Boulder Hazardous Materials Facility. If you look out the window closely, you can see a dusting of snow on top of Long's Peak right over there behind me out the window. But I'm right over here, and I'm thinking we'll do a sneak attack. Stasio softball fields are right over here to the north. Let's drive over there and see if just by chance the fast lane is doing a car shoot today. I know that's one of their favorite spots. They drive around in that parking lot. And then actually just up here ahead of me, straight ahead a little bit east on Arapahoe Road at the top is the overlook that they sometimes do some car reviews. So we'll hit both of those and see if we can make a cameo. All right, there's a little side parking lot over here by the little baseball fields. Is this the one that the fast lane's using? I think it is. All right, so we didn't run into anybody filming back there at Stasio, but I know on Arapahoe Road heading back to Louisville, you pull up onto the top hill, Legion Park, up this little dirt road, gravelly road, pressed old asphalt, basically a chip and seal. But anyway, you drive up this, and I shot a video up here in this Previa, the Herding Cats 2 video, when we replaced the entire exhaust line. So I saw last winter that the fast lane actually did a shoot up here. Oh, someone's up here. Are they shooting? Nope. Nobody's, just people hanging out, checking out the overlook. It's a great view. There's Long's Peak. It's gorgeous up here. What a nice place. So they're not shooting here today, but I did see this winter, completely independent of my video from almost 2 years ago. I saw that I watching some of the fast lane videos and saw that they did have a car review up here. So don't see them today, but we'll run into them eventually. All right, YouTube, so just a quick update. I headed over to AutoZone, and I also tried O'Reilly's over in Lafayette, Colorado. They're right pretty much diagonally across the street from each other. Neither one rents a tool set for bushing press and to pull. I guess it's a press because you press it from one side and you press it from the other side, just where you put the cup in the pusher. So anyway, they don't rent those. So that's a purchase thing. So my thought right now, because our goal is to see how bad this transmission is at highway speeds, or if it is bad at highway speeds at all, I don't suspect that it is. My thought is let's just put the track rods on there with the existing bushings, unless I pull it off and see how bad the bushings are. If they're really, really bad, then maybe I'll just wait. Amazon does sell a couple options on a bushing press set, like 120 bucks. There was a cheaper one for 85. So there are options out there. I think what I'm going to do is just pull off the parts off the bottom of this thing and get this track bars, this track rod on there, and just get this thing up to highway speed and see what it does. Let's solve this mystery. And I have noticed, I mean, that wheel right there is suspect. 100% suspect because it's got broken parts. But both of them lean. They're kind of squatted out a little bit. I'm not sure what all that's about. Obviously, it's probably old bushings, but interesting note, because that's how they sit before I lift it in the air. Got it up on the jack stands on the rear only, and I just noticed that the right rear wheel is also worn on the inside. Not as bad as that one, but definitely worn. I think these tires only had 8,000 miles on them, so I'll go look closer at the front ones, but I think it's safe to say they've never been rotated. I have a receipt from when they were bought at Walmart. So they're only about 8,000 miles ago, and they've probably just been wearing away because of that squatted position on the rear suspension. And of course, those wheels are not coming off. They are cold welded on there, or just corroded on there, on the back side of the nice shiny chrome upgrade wheel, stuck to the hub. So both sides are stuck. I hit them with some blaster. Let's let that soak in. Hit both of these eccentrics and the outer where it mounts onto the hub, or the lower control arm. I'm not sure where it mounts on yet. But anyway, for the tow rod. But I got this one off. I hit it with the Hercules, which I haven't used since the harmonic balancer on the Toyota Previa last year. It's the only time I've ever used that. So broke it out, 18 on the nut, and a 19 on the bolt, and you can now see exactly where the eccentric goes through. And then you can see where it snapped the arm right across the opening is where it broke it. It just found a weak spot there, and it is completely folded back in there. Kind of mangled my emergency brake housing, so I'll wrap that with some plastic. I'll put some wire loom plastic around it, get it, you know, it's still got the inside metal. It's still there, but it just wore off the outside coating. So I'll put a plastic loom around it and then wrap that with a bunch of electrical tape just so seal it shut. That's where I'm at. I gotta get these wheels off. All right, success on one wheel. Ooh, that's pretty in the bright sky sunshine, all the nice chrome on the wheels. That one is still not coming off, and when I kick it, it just vibrates and moves because it doesn't have any stability without that bar. So I can pretty much hit it hard at the top and at the bottom. That's about it. Because if I kick this, you'll get a kick out of that. See that? It just flexes. Oh, geez. See that? So there's no bar holding that stability. That's what it does when I'm going 35 miles an hour, as you saw on the circus music at the end of the first video. Sorry for being out of breath, but I can't even speak correctly. I'm catching my breath. It was like a full XC90 workout, kung fu kicking that thing. It finally popped with a bunch of penetrating oil, so I will hit that with the wire brush. And then we'll put some anti-seize on this little lip right there. You can totally see where it's just corroded itself in. All right, I just looked up the code on that because that shock looks extra thick. A little bit different than what I'm used to, and sure enough, I'm pretty sure that's the Nevamat self-leveling shock absorber system. And then it says online if it's a -26 on the build plate, which I came up here and looked. I'm still out of breath from the kung fu kicks. 426 is a color code, -26. Is that the -26? That's the build plate. That's the Nevamat. So self-leveling shocks, I'm guessing, on this one. Interesting. All right. Just like that, we have progress. It's a interesting. It's a 15 millimeter bolt and an 18 millimeter nut. So I was able, that penetrating oil set long enough, I was able to get that off just with some long-handled wrenches. And there's the old nasty bent one. Let's see if I can roll over here on my creeper seat. Ugh. Sorry about that. I'll just scoot. To hell with it. I'm still tired from kung fu kicking. All right, so the end with the set hole goes to the outside, and the end with the oval adjustable goes to the inside. That's kind of interesting. Other than that, they look identical. But you can totally see that that thing is bent, twisted, and obviously, there it is. It's snapped. No idea. That's what it's supposed to look like. And it does not. And that one had a much small, a little bit of an oval. Not much. Oh, it's right here. Circle, a little bit of an oval. That's interesting. I don't know why. But you can totally tell that it is mangled. Don't really see the sign of an impact. It just looks, oh, maybe the impact was right there. Who knows? That is crazy. I know I bought them and I mentioned it earlier, but I just stuck a screwdriver in here and that thing, that's pretty solid. That's not dead. Same over here. Not much movement. Oh, there you are. Now that's where you're looking. Hard to do this. How come I'm constantly out of breath today? Anyway, I think I'm going to leave them. I'm not going to worry about a bearing press. And then I looked at that. That is not bent. It is nice and straight. It matches the other side. So they backed up and hit a post or something and snagged it and snapped that somehow. Who knows? Now I'm just going to, before I get stuff in the way, I'm going to get some plastic aluminum on there, electrical tape it shut so it's not getting corroded, and we will proceed. There we go. One coat of really well applied electrical tape to seal it from the elements. And a small section of loom just stuck on there to give it some abrasive resistance. Obviously the plastic's not going to be as good as this rubber coating, hard rubber coating. Who knows? But then again, this whole thing shouldn't be flopping around and whacking the shit out of it from now on. And voila! Almost as good as new. Wrapped it one direction, started here, came all the way across, went back the other way, wrapped it again. It is sealed shut and just a little bit of resistance there. Woo! All right, another of my worst fears has been avoided. Nothing is down to torque yet, but it is mounted up. So right there, this is the 15 millimeter bolt going through with an 18 nut on the back. I did put some white Loctite on there because that's what was on there when it came off. The eccentric, it's kind of interesting how it works. It just has you can see that it's fixed to the bolt head on the back. So as you rotate the head, you can change the oblong, move it around, and it grabs the inside of this. So what I'm gonna do for now, I have no idea if it's correct, but just to make it match, I'm gonna make it look like that side. So that side, the eccentric is fully up. So I'm just gonna rotate it so this side right here is facing, oh, you can't even see it. This side right here is facing up. We're gonna make them match. And then we're gonna take it on the road and drive it. All right, so it is bolted just temporarily into place. Not tight at all, just holding it in its spots. The two bolts are through the track rod. Wheel is on with two lug nuts, just snug. Now I want to get the jack. I'm going to put it underneath the shock, the bottom of the lower control arm there. And we'll lift this up in the air until we get my Volvo Special Jamie Cars tool, the width of my knuckles. Quick update. We're not doing anything over here today, except we're going to just get the corrosion off and put some anti-seize on there. I'm not even going to rotate the tires today, I don't think. So that's why Volvo has that special truss tool that goes across there and hooks onto the subframe, and then you clamp it and get those arms to swing up, because guess what's happening? I'm lifting that arm like crazy, and I got my wheel lifting up in the air, but if you can see it, it lifted it right off of my jack stand, which isn't good because I can't be underneath there. Yeah, he lifted it right off the jack stand. So yeah, we're not close to my Jamie Cars special tool. So that's as close as I can get it. So there are old bushings in there. We'll just do it and hope they don't squeak and crack and rip. And this is as close as I can get it. That's quite a bit bigger than my Jamie Cars special tool. But to keep it supported on that jack stand without lifting it, that's as much pressure as I can get on that suspension. So yeah, we're just gonna tighten it up there and see what happens. All right, she's standing on her own feet, 103 foot-pounds on all 5 lug nuts with anti-lock, anti-seize on there. Same over here. She's standing. I'm sure she's still got wheel issues. It hasn't moved since I loaded off the jack, so I'm sure the stance is not quite right because the suspension kind of grabs. But yeah, it's time to take it for a drive. Hot Mama Cita and I are going to take this out and see what this transmission does. We're going to slowly go 25, 30. If we get no wheel wobble, there should not be any wheel wobble. Let's see if I can't kick it. It's on the ground, but it should be totally fine now. Let's take this out and see what she does at 25, 30. If that works, we'll try 35, 40, 45, 50. And maybe tomorrow this thing goes and gets an emissions test. YouTube, no instability. We are driving 40 miles an hour into South Boulder Road, or we're still Louisville, but heading over the hill. What was the degree C? Just rub your finger on the mouse pad.
44.
Hot Mama Cita's got the Vita running over here. We're up to 44 on the oil temp in the transmission. There is no instability. No little weird shifts coming to a stop on the, like, just going to, you know, like a neutral as it slows down like 5 miles an hour. But we're at 40 miles an hour. I don't want to drive too far from home because I have a soccer match tonight. Looks like it's going to be pouring rain. We're just going to drive over here on McCaslin. We'll do a couple laps and see what the transmission... It did a little downshift harshness there. Ooh, a little bit of lightning in the sky. We are going to drive this down McCaslin, see if we can get over 40, maybe 50 miles an hour and see what it does. All right, YouTube, quick update. I just went 55 miles an hour up the hill on McCaslin. I know, yeah, that's, I plead the fifth. Anyway, no vibrations whatsoever. And that Craigslist ad said you could drive it home on city streets, but at highway streets, the transmission thumps. Sorry, man. It was the tow rod, or the control rod on the rear suspension that was causing instability, because this thing takes off like a rocket. We're up to 60 degrees Celsius on the transmission oil temperature right now, driving along with Vita with Hot Mama Cita. And we're waiting for it to see if it goes up into the 70s, 80s, 90s, and if it starts making bad shifts. But right now, it's driving like a beast. Are you ready, YouTube? Floored. V8, no hesitation. That's only 40 miles an hour. I don't want to get in trouble here because I am approaching the Louisville Police Department. All right, YouTube, I can neither confirm nor deny that the XC90 with the V8 may or may not have hit 70 miles an hour. And there was no thumping from the transmission, no instability from the rear left driver's side rear tire.
82.
This thing's ready to go get an emissions test. I'm gonna take this to emissions test tomorrow. I'm gonna schedule an alignment because those tires look like shit. And I'm gonna start ordering parts to fix the engine mounts and all the oil leaks. We're moving on to phase 3. All right, YouTube, quick update. Came back to the house real quick. It's at 85 degrees Celsius. It hasn't got higher. It was 86 a second ago, just sitting here idling, and it dropped at 1 degree Celsius already. That's the lowest it's ever been, and we just drove the hell out of this thing. Yeah, I can tell you I had my foot all the way to the floor several times. Traction control was kicking in. It's a little rainy outside right now, but grab the gum out. We're gonna head over to Costco, put some fresh 91, because that's the best we can get in Colorado. Throw the gum out in the tank, because who knows how old these fuel injectors are, and just see if there's anything in there that needs to clean through. But things are looking up. It's still sitting at 85, not warming up. So yeah, this is phenomenal. It's just working more and more efficiently with the fluid. It does have a little hesitation going into reverse. It is fully up to temp, and we have been driving the hell out of it, and it has not smacked us. YouTube, I think we have a car. Just went and splurged, put the risk in it because I haven't fixed any oil leaks, haven't fixed any engine mounts yet, but the transmission's working great. And the rear wheel has been fine, hitting at 70 miles an hour with my foot all the way to the floor and hearing the V8 rumble. So I think we are totally good. I just filled it up with gas. I added the gum out injector system cleaner into the full tank of gas at Costco, reset the trip miles, and this thing is good to go. Thank you, Craigslist free car. All right, we've been driving it for 2 days, 200 and some plus miles, and it still hasn't done the full evap check cycle on the OBD2 reader. Screw it, there are no pending or stored codes. We're bringing it to the Air Care Colorado, and we're gonna do our emissions test. Time to get this baby road legal. And there's evidence. It passed emissions even without clearing the evap cycle. We're good to go. Wait a minute. Life in the fast lane. YouTube, I think that's a wrap on this video. Plates are ordered. Just got offline from doing that. Emissions are done. It has an appointment today at the local Firestone. I'm going to get one of their lifetime, I think you pay double on your alignment, and you get lifetime alignments. And that is rather convenient when you're doing repairs and stuff on these things. So I'm going to do that. But today I bought some gunk. I got 2 cans of foamy gunk. I'm taking off the beauty covers. I gotta take the crossbar off. Actually, I wanted you to see this. Look at that. That ain't doing shit. Crossbar's coming off. Beauty covers are coming off front and rear. I can see if I can get, I haven't had this one off yet. I'm gonna get that off. I wanna get this cleaned with some foam and just see where the oil leaks are all coming from to know how extensive it is. But I've been driving it. It's got 250 miles on this tank of gas that we just put in it. So it's got, you know, close to 300 miles since we've owned it. And it hasn't gone down at all on the oil. So I think the oil leaks might have been an issue, creating excess backup oil pressure from that clogged oil filter that we pulled out of there on the first video. So it definitely has leaks. I'm not gonna, but they're not as bad as they used to be, is what I'm kind of getting at. So it's driving great. Actually coming out of Boulder on Arapahoe Road, I may or may not have raced an Aston Martin Vantage from a stoplight. And it lit up all 4 wheels, and we were actually just sitting there spinning for a second, and he took off on us. So I was expecting it to traction control and take off. So that was kind of fun. Be safe, YouTube. If I can do it, salvage a almost free XC90, you can too. Be safe. All right, covers are off. I got the crossbar back on there. Still loose. Yeah, just needs new bushings. We'll order those. But it's not as oily as I thought. I mean, the worst oily place on the top side that I can see here is this oil spout area. I know the cap was terrible. It was rattly. It was like I could rock it. And I have a feeling that this little seal that's right here, this manifold has to come off to get to that bolt. Maybe I can get in. Nope, I can't get to that. I bet there's another O-ring right here on the bottom of this little plastic spout that's leaky. But definitely we'll clean this up with gunk. And but I don't see any active, like nothing is wet. It's just old crud. Just lots of old crud. So nothing is like oily leaking that I've seen, except on the oil pans on the bottom. Obviously, we saw that in the last videos. The oil pans did have wet oil on them. So yeah, let's go gunk this thing. All right, I washed it, gunked the engine. Let's see if she'll start. No problem. No problemo. Oh, what was that? Is that a dog or squeaky belt? Hi, squeaky belt. Woo! Yeah, not so embarrassing now. Now, we can see, I still had time on my car wash. Final minute here. Yeah, that was kind of fun. Gunk did its job. Left some streaks up here, but that's fine. I didn't really brush anything. I just sprayed it on and rinsed it off. I was a little worried about it catching on fire since the engine was not cold. So yeah, I didn't let it sit for long, and it probably didn't do its full power, but we're good. I can work on that. All right, YouTube, I stopped by and showed the XC90 to Volvo Brett, and he instantly knew what happened to this. It had sat in there just like that on the car. This goes on the outside of the wheel, and this is on the interior by closer to the differential on the center line of the car. You can actually see it right here. They wrapped a tow rope around this. They reached under the car, wrapped a tow rope around the track rod, and tried to pull the car out of a snowdrift or tow it backwards out of a car spot or something. They tried to back it up by hooking onto this, the easiest thing to grab on the backside of the suspension, and you can see it just flexed it until it snapped free. That's what happened. Brett said he's seen this many times. So every time you hook on this, it's not strong enough to pull the whole weight of the car. It just provides stability in the tow angle on the rear wheels. And yeah, don't pull by that. That's not smart.